that was my mistake because you didn't. Because your answer that you gave was 100% the truth.
Mm.
And that is where a lot of people make mistakes, I think, in job interviews, where they're always trying to second guess what other people want. Yeah. And there's an advantage to that for sure. But I think it's a very short-term advantage.
Mm.
Because I always think it's better to say, I don't know what you want exactly because you haven't expressed it specifically or clearly enough. However, I can tell you what my experience is. And
Mm.
I actually think, this is just me, maybe I'm wrong. I think that it's good to say, I have a conflict with my boss. My boss is ... And he is stopping everything that the company could do to make progress. And I'm progressive, and maybe you think ambitious, maybe not. But for me, it's not about that. It's about the people, right? It's about the people and working together with the right people. Also being able to manage my relationships with those people at the same time and go through and to solve problems, which we all have to solve.
Mm.
But it happens in big companies. Certain people get into certain positions who shouldn't be there. It
Mm.
happens.
Mm.
Yeah. Call it life, call it politics, call it just the way things are, you know. Your sister's cousin's nephew gets picked for the job for whatever reason.
Mm.
They the wrong not look around the world. Not all the right people are in the right jobs. Some are, some aren't. Right? There's some people making coffee who should not be making coffee, right? There's some people designing cars who should maybe not be designing cars. Look at some of the cars out there. It's terrible designs, right? How do they even get on the road, right? Um, so not everybody is in the right positions, and I think and yes, we have to be professional. And professional is problems will exist, but we're here to solve the problems. We're not here
Mm.
to create new problems. We're here to solve the problems that exist and work together, right?
Mm.
Um, but I also think you know, just as a life experience person, when someone says I don't have a problem with anybody, when somebody says I get on with everybody, I just tend to think that that's a sort of that's either A, not true, or B, the person never really tells the truth or expresses themselves.
Mm.
When they say, oh, I get on with everybody, or I've got lots of friends, it's like if you've got lots of friends and you've got no standards,
Mm.
because life requires saying yes to this and no to that in order to move forward. And I got friends from, oh, yeah, okay, but how many, how many of them are good friends? How many of them are real friends? And I think it's natural to understand that a lot of the changes that we want to experience in life come from one of two things. We just want something different or better for ourselves. We need to move forward, or we're surrounded by people who don't we don't get on with for whatever reason. Maybe our values are different. Maybe we don't appreciate them. Maybe they don't appreciate us. Whatever it is. But I think it's worthwhile being honest about that element as well, because human relationships are always really important. And I just think we need to we need to express in those areas that you don't always get on with everybody. It doesn't always work out. And the front face of the company is nice. It's beautiful. It's the
Mm.
marketing. It's the perfection. Yeah. But behind the scenes, there's always a lot of broken glass and cleaning things up, right? There's a lot of
Yeah.
that goes on, and that's part and parcel of life. That's what we have to live with. That's what we have to deal with. And yeah, I think it's worth that as well, and not just think that everything is great about big companies, because the big companies have dilemmas, and that's on the other side. And the dilemma is that, what are you selling to who and why, and what benefit do they get from it? Now, you could say, take a car company like BMW. It's like, well, it's obvious you're selling a quality car to people that helps them get from A to B and move and have an active lifestyle. But you're selling the little toy to the kid. What is the how good is the quality of the little toy? Where's the toy made? Do you know how many Western companies make little toys in slave factories in China where they're no different from prisons? Right? I mean, and then this is like, oh, we want to work for these big companies. The Nike, for example, and Apple have slave factories in China which are no different from prisons where the products are made. And big companies need to have a conscience as well, because karma's real, and it's a bitch, and it's gonna swing back around at some point in time, right? It's gonna come back at some point in time and catch us all. And so it's worth understanding not just that the company's big and powerful and important, but understanding the ethical nature of what the company is involved in as well, and whether or not the company wants to improve that as another issue. Because if you're selling a product, you want to be real about the product as well. Yeah, you want to be real about the benefits and maybe some of the things that are less good. And it's another question about that. What is quality in terms of toys for children? And